game over for you!
No, it's not, Pit. No, it's not. So, Kid Icarus. Yeah, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while now, but I just didn't know where exactly I wanted to take it. And then I figured, why not talk about how the franchise experienced a revival in the past few years? But before we move forward, we need to look in the past. Meet Toru Osawa, the man behind the idea for the original Kid Icarus. He was born in 1962 and he went on to graduate from Kyoto Seika University where he studied art and animation. Shortly after that, he joined Nintendo in 1985. Man, can you imagine working at Nintendo so quickly after school? If only, Jacob. If only. Now, less than 2 years after he joined Nintendo, he asked to be able to create his own game. Now, he was allowed to pursue this dream of his, although he puts the treatment he got as neglectful. Basically, he was tasked to single-handedly produce the game that he wanted to make, and the sad thing is most of the development process went this way. Toru Osawa worked tirelessly to get this game out on the marketplace. Now, he wanted this to be an action-adventure game with RPG elements incorporated in it as well, and then he wrote the design document, he did all the sprite work, and he brought it to an outside company to help him test it. It wasn't until after the completion of Metroid in 1986 that he received any help at all. Nintendo's Research and Development Team number 1 assisted in the production of the game from there on out. You know those guys responsible for things like Super Mario Bros., Donkey Kong, the original Legend of Zelda. I know they're small titles, you might not have heard of them, but yeah, I'm sure Toru felt like he was in good hands. Now, he was still present in the development, but this allowed him to actually be able to sleep. The co-creator in the development of Metroid also came to assist in the production of Kid Icarus. Actually, the name of this in Japan was called Myth of Light, the Mirror of Palutena. Just a quick little tidbit, because that's what we do here. Metroid finished up production in August of 1986. Now, his name was Yoshio Sakamoto, and he saw the progress on the game, and he knew there was no chance it would be completed by that December, so he stepped in to lend a hand. Yoshio dramatically sped up the development process. He provided many tips and useful information that streamlined progress on the game, and he also wanted to include many random elements in the game for humorous purposes, such as credit cards, a giant nose, a wizard who could turn Pit into an eggplant. I'm sorry, what? An eggplant! This completely went against Osawa's original design for the game, and he just wanted it to be a serious take on Greek mythological culture. He realized that opting for a more comedic side of things might actually be better for the game in the long run. An eggplant! After many nights of the development team sleeping at the office using cardboard boxes for beds and curtains for warmth, the game was finally released on December 19th, 1986. And yes, I just said that sentence. Talk about dedication. These guys slept on cardboard beds. Man! A few months later, North America got the localized version dubbed Kid Icarus and went on to receive mixed reviews based on its extreme level of difficulty and subpar graphics but extravagant gameplay. But to many gamers nowadays, it's perceived as a cult classic. Fast forward 4 years later, where we see one of the only first-party Nintendo games to not be published in Japan. That's right, it wasn't published in Japan, it was only in North America and Europe. And it was Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters for the original Game Boy. Currently available on Nintendo 3DS eShop. That totally wasn't an advertisement at all. Now, this game adopted the same gameplay style as its predecessor, but improved upon the formula by a pretty hefty margin. What's sad is this is the last game we saw from this franchise for over 20 years. People thought that Nintendo maybe just forgot about Pit. Until on May 10th, 2006, when we saw this. Oh my god, look at Pit! Look at him, he's so sexy now, he's a teenager, oh my god! That may or may not have been my reaction. So for the first time in the Super Smash Bros. Series, we saw Pit as a playable character, and man, was his moveset awesome. They even brought the Centurions in from the original game to fly around during his final smash. That is detail. Now, naturally, this brought on about the rumors and speculations from fans around the globe. Would we see the resurrection of the Kid Icarus franchise? Well, no one really knew this at the time, but in 2008, there were rumors speculating that Factor 5, who was a German studio, would be developing a three-dimensional game in the franchise. That obviously fell through. Then in 2010, Yoshio Sakamoto was asked if there were any plans to revive the franchise, and he said he had no idea. So when the world was just about to lose hope on it, Nintendo turned around later that year and revealed Kid Icarus Uprising for the 3DS.
Sorry to keep you waiting!
But behind the scenes in all this, though, Sakurai had planned on creating a third-person shooter for the Nintendo 3DS ever since Satoru Iwata approached him about making a game for it in 2008. and he began to think about the dormant franchises that got representation in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and Kid Icarus came to mind then. Interestingly, Star Fox was also considered, but he felt that a revival of the Kid Icarus franchise would make more sense when considering the type of gameplay that Sakurai wanted. Also, come to think about it, Nintendo doesn't even have any third-person shooting games, aside from Splatoon that's coming up. I swear I'm not meaning to advertise here. Kid Icarus Uprising went on to receive critical praise for the most part. Fans and reviewers all loved the gameplay and its presentation, as well as its humorous storytelling and fantastic voice acting. The control scheme has been criticized pretty harshly though, and I can't say I blame people for that one. Sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable, but hopefully it's not another 20 years until we see Pit soar the skies again.